Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty big news coming over here when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. Now, we're going to be talking about a few different things, and if you guys have missed it, there is a big Days of Play celebration going on. We may go dedicate our next video and kind of do a little more of a deep dive into it because there is a lot of big stuff coming out, but I want to focus on one very big fun-tuned thing first and foremost because this is kind of a big deal. Now, as you guys may have seen, because we made a video on this maybe about a week ago or so, there's been a big change-up when it comes to games and new games coming to the PlayStation 4 and 5. And this regards now to old school PlayStation games, brand new emulations, brand new features, and a lot of cool changes as well that are now coming. Now, we did make a video on this before because we did see the leaks and I kind of had a little bit of a similar video for that one, but this is now the official confirmation that Sony themselves are involved with this, they're pushing this, they're making this work, and I'm kind of overall a little bit on the excited side. So I hope you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy. Would love to hear your thoughts and comments on everything down below, and I do appreciate you guys all so much for watching. So let's go dive on into the video itself. So, as I mentioned, we've been seeing some intriguing news from a few weeks ago, where we saw a leak on an official PlayStation platform for an unknown, well, I don't want to say unknown, but like I guess expected PlayStation 2 game. And this kind of opens up to a brand new open world of even more games being involved, more games being ported over, and kind of the big standard of PlayStation 2 games and older games coming over here. Now, we have had this access already, and we would ready to go talk about this video too as well. So it's kind of cool to see this next wave of new games coming, new features coming, new updates coming. So let's go and first of all go talk about it. And also, a lot of this is also based up on brand new emulation styles too as well, and also is coming out as of right this second. So if you guys do have a PlayStation Plus, you guys could go get it. So two kind of really big things to know. The PlayStation 5 and PS4's brand new PS2 emulator features up rendering, rewinds, quick saves, and even more, with a lot of really big quality of life updates coming out over here for the PlayStation. So I'm going to show you guys over here from Sammy's, where Sony has already revisited a number of classics from the PS2's catalog on the PS4. But the emulator itself was a bit of a disaster, and we even touched on this, we talked about it, like it's just not fine-tuned. It wasn't really good, and a lot of people weren't fully happy, especially with the integration, like the extra PS Plus things. It was just mediocre. It wasn't good, there was bugginess, some games, you try to launch them, they didn't even work. Like at all, it wasn't even worked, and there's even going to be more surprise games too. We're going to talk about this, which is how we didn't even know this is coming. But basically, it was just shoddy. Like everything we've been seeing on the old school emulation, it's like, just to be truthful, you could probably do better on PC. Like you can quite literally probably launch up on PC, find a PlayStation 2 emulator, play the games for free, and that's I think a big standard. Because if I want to play a game and I can play it for free for better quality and sometimes even just easier to get to, I'm going to do that. Now, I don't want to be someone who like encourages, people like pirating or emulating. Emulation's legal, so if you want to emulate, go for it. But if you can pay a certain platform holder money for a PS Plus subscription or the game itself for $5, I'm probably going to rather go that way. Like support the original devs, make it easy on the platform I already play on, that's fine. But if it's hard to, or in some cases, as we saw with other prior emulations on PlayStation, if they don't even work, I'm not going to give you money. Like, I don't care. You can own the IP, whatever. Bro, no. I don't like it. Like, I'd rather go and, like, emulate it. Like, this is the better way to do it. Anyway, so they had a lot of big issues. They had some struggles, and I didn't like it. But they're saying, following a successful string of PS1 and PSP re-releases, the Japanese giant is now bringing even more PS2 titles to both the PlayStation 5 and PS4, and is utilizing a new emulator to boot. So brand new kind of new stuff. So a leak earlier in the year suggested that the Star Wars The Clone Wars was imminent, and that was acknowledged by Sony yesterday as part of this big Days of Play update, which once again, we'll do a little more of a deep dive. But basically saying like these games will be coming out soon. So the game will be available to download from the 11th of June and with PS Plus Premium, alongside legendary platformer Sly Cooper, which is one of my more favorite game series out there, and the Thievius Raccoonus and the Tomb Raider Legend. So they're actually doing a bunch of these brand new surprise games we'll talk about in a second, but this kind of goes and solidifies that this is coming. Like we have brand new features, brand new updates, and brand new things being ported on over, which is nice. So saying, but the best news is that all of these titles will leverage a brand new emulator, which will incorporate up rendering, rewind, quick save, and custom video filters. And this is probably the biggest deal, because as I mentioned, I would not mind playing games like old Sly Coopers, old Tomb Raiders, any type of old school game, Star Wars. But if they're not like released well, and they're shoddy and they're bad and they don't even launch, or it's just not a good quality of life for what we're expecting for paying more money or paying for the game or paying for a PS Plus subscription, I'm not going to deal with it, and I'm not going to care. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, I just don't care at that point. Because if I'm spending money and it's a bad product, I'm not going to spend the money on it. It's just as simple as that. But the fact that we're seeing kind of Sony maybe getting a few sparks in their head, thinking, okay, cool, there's going to be future games. And people like retro games, or they've been with the PlayStation for many years, or maybe now some people who are older. Like, I'm 29, if you guys don't know. So what if I had a kid? I don't, but like, what if I did? And I know a lot of people, maybe you guys watching, or maybe some people even younger than me, you guys have kids. So you maybe want to share these games with your kids, and you want to have it fun. Like, maybe you're a grown-up adult, you have a PS5, and you're like, hey, let me go utilize this. Let me let my kid who's maybe 7 go and check out some of these older games like a Sly Cooper to see if they like it or not. And I think that's a cool deal, or someone who's just retro back in the day. And I think it's intriguing. So anyway, they're adding up all this brand new stuff. They have, like I said, up rendering, rewinding, which is great, and quick saves, which is surprisingly, you can do this in a lot of normal emulators as of right this second. They're saying it'll be interesting to see whether the Japanese giant goes back and updates previously released PS2 titles, because there were a lot of issues, like, not to be too much of a hater on PlayStation, but when those things first came out, there was a lot of issues and a lot of bugs, and like I said, some games were not even finished. Some games they launched, they didn't even work. Some games you couldn't even save the game, and it was just a null process. There was no reason for it. Some games were getting soft locked. Like, you go play a game for 3 hours, you get stuck at a boss, and no matter what, if multiple people were playing the game, you couldn't do anything. And this was a big drama. I remember making videos on it and talking about it, because, well, if you're paying extra money and you're a premium member, premium partner, premium whatever, then guess what? You want to go get what you paid for. Like, you don't want to spend like the highest tier for a per month basis to go get these cool PSP, PS2, PS1 games, and they don't even work. So I do think this might be a new sign for PlayStation, where they want to put a little bit more effort into their games, update this stuff, and add a lot of quality of life updates too as well. So they're even asking like for maybe Bully to get revisited, and some of these old school games too as well, like Twisted Metal, because they own this too as well. And they're also saying too, first party Sony games will likely also have trophies if the PSP and PS1 games are too as well. And people are happy, like, people are excited for these different types of games. As well, they also, like I said, once again, they have like the bigger things. If you do have the PS Plus Premium, you do get to go and have this. So as part of the annual Days of Play promotion, as we kind of covered in the prior article, PlayStation has revealed the 3 PS2 games coming to the PS Plus Premium. And this is cool. So Sly Cooper, as I mentioned, Tomb Raider Legend, and Star Wars, all for June 11th as well. But it's nice. Like, I want them to keep on making cool games. I want them to keep on enjoying these. And it's just like old school memories. And this, once again, kind of leads into some more bigger issues, where we like retro games. I love retro games. And if I don't have an easy way to assess it, as I mentioned throughout this video, I'm just going to go emulate them. So if you bring it to availability, make it available for individual sale, or through these PS Plus premium tiers, I'm probably down. Like, I think a lot of people would too as well. And if they're taking it seriously,